And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this presentation of the DRL Cup Series here on DRL TV. We are just half a lap away from going green here in the Daytona 200 night race here at Daytona. Always exciting, coming off of a great win at Chicagoland. Wade Hustad is looking there, right there in row 2, to see if he can accomplish his restrictor plate woes, as we are just about ready to go green. Eric Wolf is our pole sitter here tonight. Adam de Blasio, newest recruit here to DRL, is in row number 2. And we will see what these gentlemen have here as we are about to go green.
Green, green, green.
Two by two. Lap 1 of 80 underway. Now, one thing you'll see is this is going to be a little bit different from the Daytona 500 that we had earlier this season. This is the brand new Cup package, the pack racing style. Still going to continue to have the same speeds that we saw in the Daytona 500 with the restrictor plate versus the tapered spacer, but now instead you have a lot more downforce, which means more aerodynamic advantages for the cars that are behind the leader, which means that the speeds are, again, going to be the same, but sucking up to that car in front of you is going to be so much easier now. As you can look at Wade Hustad is all over the back of Adam de Blasio in the 25, almost all the way around this car, or all the way around this track, something that he didn't used to be able to do because of stability issues. You know, the golden rule was not to bump in the corner. Here, you can bump all the way around. Is that outside line, which is something that we haven't seen here at Daytona in a couple of years, is very effective right now, as Wade Hustad looks to get some air. Eric Wolf still maintaining on the inside, being pushed by the 62 of Anthony Burroughs. Burroughs takes a peek. Now, one thing that we're not seeing a whole lot of is drivers that would drop almost more than half a lap down. We used to see that all the time. Some drivers are in the rear, but only just a little, as you see drivers like Spencer Tart that are forming the rear of the pack there, but they're still maintaining a gap where they can keep the advantages from the draft and not lose the pack. Where again, at Daytona we saw people that were going half a lap down just trying to avoid these wrecks that do sometimes inevitably happen. It looks like Caden Honeycutt has seen enough. He will duck off and try to file to the rear of this field for now. That gives Anthony Burroughs and that outside line a little bit of an advantage as he ducks down. Adam de Blasio is going to try to work his way around and get a lap lead here tonight in the Daytona 200. Still being pushed by Wade Hustad. Looks like Wade Hustad is going to now look outside, and he's being pushed by Taylor Butcher Benjamin in that Napa 8 Chevy. Now, Wade Hustad's been doing a lot of pushing so far as this race has started, so temperatures for him could start to become an issue as he continues to push these leaders back to the front of that inside line without being able to take advantage of some clean air himself. See him moving around. right on board with Wade Hustad. And you can see those special spoilers that we have only at restrictor plate races. Just a huge amount of downforce, which means that's blocking almost all the air that is going to Wade Hustad's grill. So again, temperature's going to be an issue tonight. We saw at the Daytona 500, and we also saw at Talladega. There were people that did blow their motor pushing the car in front of them. As we were circling lap 7 of 80, the calm chaos, as I like to call it, it's still group racing, but it seems like it's a lot more organized. As there's not a whole lot of line shifts. It's people calmly running their races right now, keeping their engines cool. And in the meantime, Adam de Blasio getting all these laps led, and Eric Wolf just behind him. You can see Wade Hustad, he keeps peeking out for that air in the middle of the corner. He's got to be careful there because Benjamin could get underneath him. And when you come out of the corner, you have to make sure that you're lined up with that bumper properly, or else you can send one of these cars flying. And if there's a wreck at the front of this field, I guarantee you that there's going to be a lot of cars involved. Now here at the rear of the field, we've got the S2R team, Ryan Hesgaard, who we will see tomorrow night in the Grand National Series. We've got Spencer Tart. We've got Thomas Harmon, all here in the rear of the field watching safely from a distance from where you'll hopefully be able to maneuver if there is some sort of wreck. But again, that is by design, ladies and gentlemen. That is not a performance issue from Ryan Hesgaard or Bill Edwards or any of those S2R guys. That is all that is done on purpose. We focus back to the front now. Anthony Burrows has grabbed the lead, which gives Wade Hustad the first car on that outside line some much needed air to that grill who's been pushing cars basically all 10 of these 80 laps so far. Now with this race being 80 laps, there are going to be 2 green flag pit stops that are needed, you know, if, let's say, this were to go green all the way. So these guys do have to start almost thinking about that already. The outside line doesn't seem to have the momentum that inside line has because of you know, a little bit more organized, a little bit closer pushing from that inside line. They're going to be maintaining a little bit higher speed, and de Blasio tries to peek out where he can tow that outside line back to the front. So with a great move there from Wade and Adam de Blasio, that gives that inside line some of the strongest cars we have, with that outside line being led by Taylor Benjamin, being pushed by the 31 of Nathan Jurgensen. So that is a car that we haven't seen here in a while. He has come back to DRL for this Daytona race. John Theodore also on the outside. Hustad can get that lap led. And he does not. That is the 25 of Adam de Blasio that leads that lap as well. Again, this is important for Wade Hustad because he recently just lost that points lead to Thomas Harmon because of a wreck that he was involved in last week at Chicagoland. So Wade Hustad being a little more aggressive here in the restricted plate race to try to stay up front and give himself an opportunity to hopefully stay out of trouble. And also maximize his points here tonight. Outside lines is not really able to sustain, and you can tell the difference between the gaps of the cars on the outside line and the gaps of the cars on that inside line. They're just a little bit too spread out to really maintain the speed that inside line, which is a lot more clumped up, is not really able to maintain that momentum there on the outside. The inside line is doing a very good job of maintaining gap between the two. And that is the lap car of Jim Westerfield that will get out of the way there. That will be a non-issue. Wade Hustad, does he get that lap led? He does not. Very, very close though. As so far 16 laps into this 8th lap race, a lot of patience that we're seeing here at the front. 2x2 with the whole entire green flag run. Once again, that outside line kind of has lost a little bit of that momentum that it had before. And that might have to do with the difference of the pushing from the 8 car of Taylor Butcher Benjamin versus the difference that the 2 car of Anthony Burroughs, how they're pushing the leader of that line. You can see the 8 car really lets off there on the entry of these corners, which allows that outside line to really kind of lose a little bit of that momentum. But the 25 and 62, they're maintaining a very, very close gap, as is the 24 to the back of the 62. So that inside line being a lot more aggressive as far as maintaining that gap control. And of course, for now, that's going to be, again, talking about engine management here tonight is very, very key with the amount of air that is being blocked from the nose of that pushing car. And it looks like Wade Hustad has stepped out of line, and Caleb Richard Benjamin will become the leader of that outside line. Again, that outside line has kind of lost a little bit of its gusto here. Back in the pack as we're riding with Richard Lucky. You know, these are the cars in the trying to maintain that safe distance from the front of the field, and just in case there's a wreck, they're able to kind of avoid getting into any situation where they would cause damage here. But it looks right now like these guys are really controlling themselves. Not too many crazy line changes, not too many drastic moves that would really put the field in jeopardy of being involved in what we call the big one here. About 20 of 80 laps in the books. So that top line is now formed up a little bit better, and they are now evened up with that inside line. Again, that is important for Taylor Butcher Benjamin because that would allow him to get a lap lead. Right, I got on board here with Anthony Burrow, getting that second car in line. And if you listen to his throttle, you can hear him get out of it ever so slightly. That way he's able to maintain a close gap, but also not be so far against the bumper of the 25 that he would, overheat his engine here. Taking a shot here. We see the pack snaking down that backstretch. Nathan Jurgensen determined in that 31 car to keep that outside line even with the leaders. Of that inside line. But again, at some point here in the next probably 7 to 10 laps, you're going to see a lot of those drivers on the inside line, or a lot of those drivers on the outside line, rather, try to find their way to that inside line should green flag pit stops come into effect here. Wade Hustad moves down behind his teammate there in the O2. Possibly some guys getting ready to be set up for a possible green flag pit stop. So far, something that we've seen tonight is just a great deal of patience has allowed these drivers to maintain green flag for 25 laps, which At Daytona, we did not see earlier this season, or we did get a caution almost right away. But so far, all three cars so far still in contention. And here at the back, 82 of Chris James seems to be the last car holding up that lead draft pack. The only car that is not part of this pack right now is the 4 of Jim Westerfield. A little bit which strategy people are going to be doing, whether they're all pitting, whether teams are pitting together, which drivers are communicating with one another. At this point in the race, at this point in the season, these drivers know which drivers at this point they want to run with. So coming out of these green flag pit stops, you want to be with someone that you trust, somebody that you know will hit their marks on that green flag pit stop. Make sure that you know somebody that won't speed or leave you hanging. In the event that you come out in a 1 or 2 car pack here, you're going to need to have somebody that you trust that can push you. So all these drivers are thinking about that now as we do approach that green flag pit stop window. So far, because of the advantages that inside line has had, that 25 for Adam de Blasio has led most of the laps here tonight. Outside line has been able to, at times, keep with the leaders, but rarely have we seen the outside line be faster than that inside line. And we have green flag pit stops. So we will keep an eye on all those drivers that came down. Now, that's a very, very large pack that all came down together, and we will see. And we'll try to pay attention to see if anyone does have to pit again after this, if they were to have had a speeding penalty. It looks like all the drivers didn't get caught speeding entering pit road, as none of them are in their boxes. And here comes the second group. And I believe that was Anthony Burrows. I might have hit the commitment cone on entering. We'll see if he ends up getting held here. It could have been a commitment line violation, I'm not sure. And it doesn't appear to be. It's Caden Honeycutt. He must have gotten caught for speeding, as he was on pit road far longer than anyone else. And that is heartbreaking for the 37 to Caden Honeycutt, so he will come out all by himself. So Caden Honeycutt does get pegged for some sort of penalty here. So now the Lucky Brothers decide to pit. And as we cycle back around, that should give the 8 car the lead, I believe. But he is not going to be up to speed when these leaders come around. And that's going to be the 32 of Wade Hustad, I believe, that's going to retake this lead. So Green Flag Pit Stops did a very nice job of breaking this field up. And the 4 car again, he is a lap down. He is not your leader. Actually, the Lucky Brothers will still be positioned ahead of the leaders, at least for the time being, until they get caught by this lead pack here. So now that all the Green Flag pit stops have cycled through, DRL TV will take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. When we return, more Green Flag racing here from Daytona International Speedway. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daytona 200 for the DRL Cup Series here on DRL TV. Thank you all to all the viewers that are joining us here tonight. Green flag from lap 1 all the way to lap 38 so far as we just approach the halfway point here in Daytona International Speedway. After green flag pit stops, these leaders find themselves all back in one group, with the exception being Caden Honeycutt, who had a green flag penalty for either speeding, entering, or having a commitment code violation. And so he, right now, is the one driver, he and Jim Westerfield, that are off sequence with these leaders. But right now, as you see, the 4 car there is the second car in the outside line, but he again is 2 laps down. But those 2 drivers certainly want to caution. These other drivers do not, as they are approaching halfway here. Green flag pit stops were about 5 laps ago, so we still have one more scheduled green flag pit stop if this were to go green. But these leaders have been doing a very nice job of maintaining gaps to the car in front of them. Not excessive lane changes or anything that would put the field in jeopardy, at least for now. As we have passed halfway, Wade Husted has been able to get out front and get that lap led. And Westerfield.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Westerfield blew his engine, I believe. As we will try to back up. And that takes out a lot of cars, ladies and gentlemen. As we'll try to get a blimp cam. The 4 car blows his engine. John Theodore, nowhere to go, takes out the 02, gets caught up with other cars. The 38 of Mike Lemon gets damaged. The 02 gets damaged. And that will be our first caution of the day, as we will ride on board with the 27 of John Theodore. There's nowhere for him to go. Justin Musil and Joseph Pelt also involved. There's nothing you can do at the beginning. If something happens at the beginning of this pack, there's just really nothing that can be done, and that is heartbreaking for these gentlemen here. But kind of a blessing here for the 37 of Caden Honeycutt. Really the only driver that is happy to see that yellow come out. But this will allow these drivers to come back down pit road. And depending on when we go green, we still might have a green flag pit stop that will need to be done here. And we'll see what kind of damage some of these other drivers have as they, we saw the 38 get involved. He might have minor damage. He might be good enough to continue this race without, Now as we get sorted through the field and get these drivers back, after we get some of these drivers with some damage fixed and all that stuff, we will catch back up with the field. DRL TV is going to take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. When we return, back to Green Flag Racing here at Daytona. ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at Daytona International Speedway. I do apologize for the slight technical difficulties there. There was a slight connection issue there with the iRacing server, but we are back and ready to get this scheduled race finished here, hopefully under green flag conditions. A lot of those leaders now have pit with the 1 to go, maybe allowing them to save enough fuel to avoid that last green flag pit stop should this thing go green. So some interesting strategy there behind in the back of the field, but we will see this. We'll see a huge inside line at the start of this race from all those drivers that pit with 1 to go. They don't double file, or they don't file. Oh my goodness, they don't restart in double file like these leaders did. So there'll be a lot of movement at the back of this pack here at the start of this green flag. Try to catch back up and shuffle out those cars that have damage. We'll see if they're able to all come back up to that pack racing that we saw just a little bit ago. The 25 Adam Blasio is our leader, getting pushed by the 31 of Nathan Jurgensen, the 8 car of Taylor Butcher Benjamin in third. Wade Hustad just behind him, and on the outside line, the 64 of John Mullins being pushed by 44 of Alexander Russell. Let's see if that outside line has anything for these guys. We've seen it kind of fizzle out, and right now they don't have the numbers to really maintain the speed with that inside line. As Caden Honeycutt, you see there in the 37, he is back up with these leaders. He did not go a lap down, so he is still in contention for the win now after getting that caution flag from the 4 car of Jim Westerfield blowing his engine, something that we talked about multiple times here in this race so far. Took out a lot of good cars in John Theodore and the 22 of Dustin Musil. Looks like Joe Help, who was another car that was involved in that, might have enough of a clean nose to really still maintain with these leaders. As we're watching now the 25 Adam de Blasio try to hold off the advancing outside line of the 64 of John Mullins, the 42 of David Wright. The 21 of Richard Springer is on that outside line. So a couple drivers that were kind of in the middle of the pack or in the rear of the pack have now moved to the front of the pack on that outside line. Obviously, the big question is now, who in that rear pack that we're seeing there of those S2R guys, who is going to be able to save enough fuel to try to avoid a green flag pit stop where we know, like someone like Adam Blasio, who's going to have his throttle wide open this entire run. Again, assuming this goes green, he is not saving any gas at all. John Mullins, even with the leader on the outside in that 64X side Chevy, just behind him his teammate David Wright, the 21 of Richard Springer, also a teammate of the 64 and the 42. So with 30 laps to go, still a lot of miles to be driven yet. But, at what point does some of those cars that are kind of in the back of this pack start to get a little bit antsy and try to start making those moves to maybe get back to more front of this pack? Very, very hard to do by yourself, and it's also hard to do without making some aggressive moves that could end up ending your race. You can see this backpack led by the 68 of Thomas Harmon. And they're still staying single file here. Not sure if they're going to be able to save enough fuel. It appears to be maybe that's what they're doing. Well, certainly this group of cars up here is not doing anything to save any fuel, as they are side by side, 2 by 2, the first 6 cars inside and out. The outside cars led by 3 of the dysfunctional Patriots, trying to get that nice good run. We've seen the outside line just really not have the speed to maintain with that inside line. No matter how organized they are, you know, they can maintain for brief periods of time, and then they just kind of drop back over about 2 or 3 car lengths. So 4 cars deep on that outside line. 3 cars deep as Caden Honeycutt decides to go inside, then changes his mind and goes back outside. The 62 of Anthony Burrows and Wade Bustad, who were leaders of the pack earlier, they are now mired in the middle of this pack. Certainly in what most people consider the danger zone of the field. What are they going to do as they try to maneuver their way through this field? Oh no!
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Spinning! It's the 64 of John Mullins. Uh-oh. So you see de Blasio gets kind of hooked there by the 42 of David Wright, and that sends a lot of drivers to the graveyard. So we'll try to see what happened here. It looks like the 64 gets down below the 25, who was leading that inside line. And coming up here on the backstretch, the 25 gets a run and trying to be aggressive and maintain that spot that he had. He gets kind of a crooked shot there from the 42, gets him loose, and takes out a lot of drivers. Let's watch the 38 of Mike Lemon try to navigate through this. Woo! That is fearless. What a gap there that he shot. That was absolutely incredible there by the 38 of Mike Lemon. Some drivers that are not so fortunate, though, that will be the 64 of John Mullins as he goes for the ride of the day, as we look at this one more time. Let's look at this from the view of Wade Bustad. I think Wade Hustad got through it without too much damage. I know he got a huge shot from the 62. So there's going to be a lot of cleanup here, folks. My goodness, that's 2 wrecks that we've seen today, both at the front of the field. Both have taken out a ton of good cars here and given a lot of damage to a lot of good vehicles. And all those drivers that were in the back of that pack, most of those S2R guys, they played it right. They were able to miss most of that wreck. And let's see if we can... I'd like to get a view from those S2R vehicles that are back here. And that was right there the advantages of riding in the back, able to miss all of that mayhem, come to a complete stop. Nicely done there by Ryan Hesgaard, who is our last winner of the Super Speedway race at Talladega, so he knows how to get it done here tonight. Good job by Ryan Hesgaard, S2R guys, but the wreck avoidance of the day there so far has to be the 38 of Mike Lemon shooting the gap and getting through that field, and of course the ride of the day so far is awarded to the 64 of John Mullins, as he was not able to keep all 4 of his tires on the ground during that wreck. So as we cycle through these pit stops, ladies and gentlemen, the field reset, and we will be right back after this commercial break here on DRL TV.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
He's gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Racely to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though. Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Leonard drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
And welcome back to DRL TV. We are looking live as we are just about ready to go green here at the DRL Cup Series tonight at Daytona. Just about 22 laps to go, and a big shakeup at the front of the field as a lot of drivers were just involved in that huge wreck that we saw. Right now, Taylor Butcher Benjamin leading the field, though, with Thomas Harmon on the outside, and now we're going to see a lot of these guys that were at the back of the field up at the front of the field. So this is where it's all going to start to get very interesting, and we will see who has the damage to compete and who does not.
Green flag, green flag.
As Butcher Benjamin leads him to the green. Thomas Harmon is able to get down, stays back up, and we'll see if he can try to get this lead all by himself with the 38 of Mike Clement pushing the 8 on the inside line. The outside line has not materialized. It has not formed. Ryan Hesgaard will be the first car on the outside line to meet up with his S2R teammate, the 68, on that on the high line. Now again, there's not a lot of cars in this field that don't have any damage at all. There are some with minor damage, and you will see who has the handling and who has the aerodynamic speed left in this car to come up here and compete for a win with just 20 laps to go. The 68 with a huge shot there from the 2 of Ryan Hesgaard, 82 of Chris James, and the 62 of Anthony Burrows just behind him on that high side. And they get a huge run. And the S2R teammates are able to clear that inside line, which leaves the 82 of Chris James on that outside line. Getting a huge push from Anthony Burrows. Now, fuel is no longer an issue here, ladies and gentlemen, so there's not going to be any conserving gas. There's going to be no throttle play to try to make sure that this tank of gas stretches out for the next 20 laps. Fuel no longer an issue. Right now it's all maneuvering for that final lap to see who can win this race. And the 68, Thomas Harmon, we'll see if he tries to, play the field here, tries to block the inside-outside. Not sure if it's really time for that just yet. 19 laps to go, and here comes the 82 of Chris James. As you can see at the back of the pack, no cars lagging back 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back until we hit our previous leader, the 25 of Adam de Blasio. Right now, Thomas Harmon sitting in a great spot, being pushed by a teammate on the inside. Now, we've seen already being over-aggressive with pushing can lead to catastrophic results, as we saw the 4-car of Jim Westerfield. And, we had his engine expire at the front of this pack and took out several good cars. Hopefully we don't see that again tonight, but these drivers have to be a little bit more mindful as they get more aggressive when these laps start to tick down. Especially the 2-car and the 82 car that are pushing, they're pushing people right now. Those are going to be the cars that are most at risk to overheat their engine. Now, another thing that these drivers are going to try to do, if they haven't already, is try to find their teammates to link up with. Right now, we see 2 teammates on the inside line leading the field, 2 teammates on the outside line leading the field. That's the hoodless car. I believe that is Jim Westerfield. No, it's not. It's actually the 39 of Dustin Jones. Tries to get out of the way there. No issues. Now, one thing, I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, as you've noticed, it's very, very hard to come from the back of the back to the front. So some of these drivers, they're going to have to start making moves almost now. Talking about drivers like the 75 of Bill Edwards, who's very, very much in the back of the pack. He's going to have to, him and Spencer Tart, they have to start trying to figure out their moves now if they want to try to find a way to get up here. It is so hard to pass here with the drafting advantages that we have now with this new package, the downforce package. These cars don't really separate the way that they used to. So there's not going to be a whole lot of room for maneuvering. Because the outside line, again, losing a little bit of its mustard. The inside line is now 3 cars, have 3 cars completely clear of that outside line. As they try to get a little bit of a run here again. They go on board with Taylor Butcher-Benjamin, who is leading that first car on the outside line. Again, the 82 doing all that it can to keep its DPR teammate even with the leaders on that inside line. On board with Richard Lucky in the 41 Toyota. Inside line getting great push from those S2R teammates out front, which is allowing them to maintain the advantage that they have with just 12 laps to go, 24 miles from the Daytona 200. Looking out of the back of Thomas Harmon's vehicle to his teammate, the 2 car of Ryan Hesgaard. Right on board with Mike Lemon as he maintains that 3rd spot on the inside line. Outside line gets kind of a good run there. The inside line had a checkup just a little bit. Again, those cars in the pack, the 75, the 28, the 32, they have to start making moves almost now if they want to try to get up here and compete for this win. There's drivers back there like the 24, the 37 that I know are very hungry to get their first win of the season, or not their first win, but their win here at Daytona. 37 did actually win last week at Chicagoland. 24 is still winless this season. He is one of our defending champs here in our Cup Series. Wade used to have won it again last year, and he's got to try to find a way to get through this field as he is 10 cars deep, and he was involved in that last incident. Thomas Harmon still leading laps, still putting himself in a great position to win this race. Of course, it doesn't hurt that he has his teammate pushing him behind him, but one thing I know about his teammate Ryan Hesgaard, he will help him, but of course Ryan Hesgaard, he's only here for the win. And he won last time we were at a race in Talladega, so he knows how to get it done here tonight. How long does Thomas Harmon expect Ryan Hesgaard to push him for this win? Until he starts to try to maybe make a move for himself. And that outside line has broken up. There's only 3 cars really maintaining that outside advantage until the 02 of Joseph Helt gets back up there. Just 8 laps to go here in the Daytona 200. Driver's starting to get a little antsy. You can see it. The 62 shoots out. They try to take it 3 wide. That high line, can they get hooked up? Can they make up ground here? 8 laps to go. Getting to 7 to go as the 62 is being led by the 02 of Joseph Help, the 28 of Spencer Tart, and the 32 of Wade Hustad. And that third line really kind of dissipates quickly as, again, the 31 of Nathan Jurgensen peeks out with the 37 of Caden Honeycutt giving him a shot. On board now with Caden Honeycutt, third line, 3 wide, all the way around. Can they get it done here? They need more cars than just 2. How long can Caden push 31 as aggressively as he is before he gets into temperature issues with that engine? Now this is what it looks like in the middle of the field. Riding along with Spencer Tart trying to get his first win of the season. And that outside, that third line, I should say, again fizzles out as Cade Honeycutt isn't really able to give him that as aggressive of a push as he can because, again, only 2 cars. He's going to need the numbers if he's going to make that move work. Six laps to go. Is the race winning move going to be Thomas Harmon getting that lead on that last restart, or have we yet to see the race winning move? Just in case, we do have 1 green-white checkered in our pocket in case there is a wreck here with 1 or 2 to go, but with 5 laps to go, really nowhere to go if you're in the back of this pack. That third groove has not come in yet, and we have some lap cars ahead that will actually ruin that opportunity for some of these drivers to maybe get up to the wall. Come up on this lap traffic. That third line, Nathan Jurgensen and Caden Honeycutt have now picked up in the new member, the 21 of Richard Springer. As they're looking, they're trying to get that run, trying to get that momentum. Now, if you're Thomas Harmon, right now that is your view out of your windshield, which is nice and beautiful with just 4 laps to go. But behind him, as you can see, he's got an engine case full of Ryan Hesgaard. 3 laps to go here at Daytona. outside line getting a little bit of numbers here with the 62 of Anthony Burrows being pushed by Spencer Tart, and the 28 scrapes the wall just a little bit. Oh, wreck! The 75 down in the. He is off the racing surface. The caution will not wave. And that breaks up this field a little bit. They got to get back together. And caution is out. Caution is out. Ladies and gentlemen, we will have one more attempt at a green-white checkered. Caution is out. Let's see if we can go back and look at that. The 28 scrapes the wall a little bit, and the 75, something happens with the 75. Let's see if we can get on board with Bill Edwards. Looks like he hits the 41 a little bit, bounces it back to the outside, hits that 24 car, and sends him spinning. But this field will reset for one last shot at a green-white checkered. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the most exciting thing in auto sports, especially here at a restrictor plate race. So as these guys decide to catch the, as they catch the pace car and get all this figured out, DRL TV is going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, the finale of the Daytona 200. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Daytona 200. Our next race of the DRL Cup Series will be next week at Kentucky. That'll be a great race here with this new draft package that we have and reduced horsepower. And we've seen all this new pack racing. Our next broadcast will be tomorrow night. You'll see Ryan Hesgard, Mike Lemon, and myself actually compete at Daytona for 70 laps here in our Grand National Series. And that will be tomorrow night at Daytona. Now, one interesting little aspect that we're seeing here, Thomas Harmon is your race leader right now. He's leading the points, but with this win, this would even him up with Wade Hustad and Chris Lucky for playoff seeding as far as total wins are concerned. So this is a big moment here for the 68 of Thomas Harmon. Now, again, this is a green-white checkered, so we're going to get the green flag, ladies and gentlemen, when these cars come down. And they're going to have one shot at, I think this is green-white checkered. Maybe this isn't a green-white checkered. I think they're going to have one shot. They have to get, as soon as they get the white flag, this race will become official, no matter what. If they get the yellow, before they get to the white flag. We might have another shot at a green-white checker depending on how it fell. But right now, Ryan Hesgaard, Thomas Harmon, they will be starting inside and outside row. So it's going to be up to Anthony Burrows and Taylor Butcher Benjamin to make sure that those teammates do not hook up. Because if they do that, it's going to be very, very tough to get past those two cats. Now, other drivers that, you know, didn't have the luck here tonight. John Mullins, as we saw, spinning through the air. John Theodore, Chris Lucky. We just saw Bill Edwards, David Wright, Eric Wolf. Those drivers have all received significant damage, but we still have a lot of drivers up here near the front in the top 5, top 7 that have, you know, a shot at winning this thing. Thomas Harmon, Ryan Hesgaard, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, who's been up front all day, and he is in 3rd. Anthony Burrows, Mike Lemon in 5th, Chris James in 6th, Wade Hustad in 7th, and Spencer Tart in 8th. So we've got some drama here coming up, as we will get one last opportunity, as these drivers do get the one to go here. So, I mean, it goes without saying that the 68 and the 2 car are going to try to find a way to get hooked up. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm this is overtime, so this is our last shot. So once they get the green flag, the next flag will end it, whether it is getting the yellow flag before they get the white, or whether they get the white flag, then the checkered flag will end this race. Again, I do want to thank all of our viewers here tonight for tuning in here to the Daytona 200. If you do like the broadcast or like a specific driver that we showcase here in the Dynasty Racing League, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified anytime we go live, which this week will be 3 times, as all 3 of our series, the A cars, the B cars, and the truck series, will all be here at Daytona this week. And that'll be Monday, which is tonight, tomorrow night, and also Wednesday night. But the task at hand now, deciding a winner here for the Daytona 200.
Green flag, green flag.
The green flag is out. And Thomas Harmon is able to get down to his teammate. But Anthony Burrows and Chris James have something to say about it. Two by two, 6 cars deep. Spencer Tart peeks out. Nobody goes with him. He will go to the back. The 31 takes his spot in 6th. The 2 car pushing the 68 for everything that he has. This is the white flag, ladies and gentlemen. Please disregard the up top. I don't see anybody that has anything for the 68. Butcher Benjamin peeks out. Taylor Butcher Benjamin with a shot from the 62. Oh, wreck in the back. Wade Hustad gets turned. As we focus on our leaders. Does Ryan Hesgaard peek out? He does not. He pushes the 68 to the flag, and Thomas Harmon is your winner of the Daytona 200. Great run by Thomas Harmon. Great push by Ryan Hesgaard. And Butcher Benjamin will finish 3rd. Great race here, great finish tonight. And we'll see a little bit later if we can go back and find out what happened to Wade Hustad. But Thomas Harmon is your winner here this evening, getting his 3rd win of the season in dramatic fashion, as we will focus here on Thomas Harmon. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Daytona did not disappoint. A lot of green flag racing, side-by-side racing, but it ends in a one-lap shootout. And the advantage goes to S2R teammates Thomas Harmon and Ryan Hesgaard, with Taylor Butcher Benjamin finishing 3rd. And we will start bringing in some of these drivers here. Let's start with Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Let's try to get Taylor Butcher Benjamin up here into the broadcast booth. Taylor, do you have a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you, Getty.
Well, you ran up front all night long. You make that move on the final lap. You get the 3rd place. You don't get the victory. Did you think you had him?
Yeah, I thought I had a good shot when I got Anthony behind me, but just I don't know if there's guys wrecking behind me would cause that line to die out, but yeah, but I mean, a good run for everybody at DPR, and a lot of guys, unfortunately John Mullins and David Wright, they didn't really get the finishes they deserved, as considering how well they were running. And congrats to Thomas Harmon. He and Brian played the teamwork pretty well there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, we saw you again. It's always when you don't win here, but you still get that 3rd. You know, it's always nice to say and fall back and say you get that good points day. But I know you want that victory. But you know, at the end of the day, do you take the 3rd and move on next week to Kentucky, or is this going to sting for a little bit there, Taylor?
I mean, I guess a little bit of both. I mean, as much as I want to win, I mean, a good solid points day, you can't complain about it, as cliche as it sounds. But
right. Well, I mean,
yeah, I still want to get the victory lane, though.
One of the few cars to finish without extensive damage, so I mean, that's got to say something here. Well, Taylor,
yes,
what's that?
I still had about 14 seconds of damage when I went through the grass on that wreck when de Blasio got turned.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was affecting me at all, but I just said, heck with it, and just roll with it, and the car was still plenty fast enough.
No, absolutely. Well, while we got you in here, why don't you give us your shout-outs here, Taylor, and again, on your 3rd place finish here tonight at Daytona.
I'll certainly shout out to James Pandoff and everybody else that makes this league what it is. Can't say enough about my DPR teammates. I know we had a few extra here tonight, some who run on Tuesday with David Wright and Dustin Jones, and glad to have them here, as well as Richard Springer, who runs on Wednesdays. Kudos to you guys in the booth, and just shout out to everybody watching on YouTube.
All right. Well, Taylor, we appreciate your time and appreciate your putting on a show here, trying to get that win here at Daytona. We will see you Wednesday in the booth as you broadcast the Truck Series race.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, and that
have a good night.
Yeah, take it easy, Taylor. That was Taylor Butcher Benjamin finishing 3rd in a dramatic fashion. But the reason he finished 3rd is because of this gentleman right here, the 2-car of Ryan Hesgaard. Ryan, you have a copy, sir?
Go ahead.
Well, we saw, with about 15 to go or whatever, we saw it was go time after that last caution. You get up to the front, and you and Thomas Harmon are able to play the teammate game, and you're able to push him to the win. With Taylor being to your outside, you really didn't have an opportunity to really make that move. But had he not been at your bumper, do you think you would have ducked out, or were you committed to pushing the 68 across?
With Burroughs and James being as fast as they were, I told Tom I was glued to him, regardless of what happened. I just told him, don't mess up, and I'm not going to have a reason to duck out. So, I mean, I had all the opportunity in the world, a few times to move up a lane and get in that top groove, but that's not what teammates are for, especially those that run these races and they're not running for points. So we try to do what we can to get our teammates to win first.
Well, these cars are significantly different from what they used to be. They're also significantly different from what you run on Tuesdays and from what we also see is run on Wednesdays. But is there really anything that you can learn as far as strategy-wise, as far as engine temperature, conservation-wise? Is there anything that you learned tonight that you wouldn't have already known going into tomorrow night's race where you are actually a points driver?
I mean, if it's one thing I think that's going to hurt tomorrow night is going to be just the ability. We can't push like we can in these. The bumpers don't quite line up as square, so we got to adjust to that. But I think the biggest thing I can take out of here is the temperature control. The Xfinity cars kind of handle like the old Cup cars did with temperature-wise. So you just got to be careful, getting that air when you need it, and just managing it is all. Knowing exactly how high you can go temperature-wise, and where you're going to get that power if you drop it back down. So I think that's the biggest thing we're going to learn for tomorrow night.
Well, Ryan, your experience, your experience tonight hopefully translates to a good run tomorrow. But while we have you, let's get your shout-outs here, and again on a great second place finish tonight here at Daytona.
Yeah, big thanks to you guys in the booth. Everybody involved with the broadcast, thank you. Our families, thank yous. Gives us something to do. Keeps the family members updated in a different way than Facebook or Twitch or anything like that. So big thank you to the broadcast.